What's up, ladies and gentlemen? If y'all watched the last video, you know that we are here on the church job. I got the machine warmed up, greased up, all that jive. I shot grade again on it. If you haven't seen that video, what's happening is the church is flooding out right in here. As y'all can see, there's backfill issues. I don't know what the deal was. But out here is probably 4 or 5 inches higher than the actual slab of the church there. And I just shot grade again. I got the dozer sitting back there in that corner, and basically where it actually finally starts falling off is back there very close to the dozer. So I'm going to have to basically cut this whole thing. It gets back on grade over here by the excavator to the top of the concrete right there. So this is just perfectly flat basically, but it's higher than the church is. So what I think I'm going to do is, first I'm going to pull back the gravel. I'm going to try to save as much of the gravel as I can and just try to get basically from the front edge right here. I'm going to try to slope it that way, because I can't tie over here to this ditch, because this ditch is basically the same height as the church. So it's not going to go anywhere there. They actually say it holds water over here pretty bad. So what I may try to do is try to ditch that out just a little bit more. That way water can either go that way or that way, but instead of just pooling right there. I don't have to take it down much, but it's just a long ways that I have to take it down. So it's going to be probably going to be a good bit of dirt to move. And I still need to ask them, is it okay to lay it up on this bank? I'd rather take it back there to the back corner of the property, and that way none of this is disturbed up here. That's probably what I'm going to do, but I'll need my dump truck here to do that. But first, I guess what I need to do is jump in the excavator. I got the tilt bucket on it. It's going to be the first job for it. And I'm going to try to take down this right here, this high spot. Y'all can see this 6-inch corrugated pipe is coming out of the ground. Not sure what's going on there. There's clean outs all up down through here. I'm assuming that line runs that way to the city sewage. I hope. That's what I'm assuming. Nobody knows. So this right here is probably going to get a little tricky, and not knowing what's in the ground there. And I also have gas lines right here, which I'm going to call them real quick and see if they know how deep that line is running right through here. I think we're going to be fine. Like I said, it's not as high down here as it is down there at the front of the church. And also I have this drain right here. What I may try to do is just go ahead and take everything down to this level and see how much fall I got. And if that don't work, if I don't like that, then I can just finish taking the taper on down from here that way and tie it into the ditch line back there. Another thing is, like, I have to be careful with this road wrapping around. I can't have just a ditch line running through there, because then it will start washing and all that. So what I may have to do is just scrape all this gravel back, take this whole thing down and taper it, and then lay the gravel back on top of that and just let it all go that way. We'll see. Let's get the 313 fired up and start pulling this dirt back. Okay, so I'm about to get started here. I called the gas company, and they couldn't tell me how deep it was. I didn't figure they could. They just said I'd have to dig it by hand. I said, no thank you, I got an excavator for digging. So it should be, I shouldn't have to take it down 4 or 5 inches, so we should be fine. And then plus this bucket, if I do hit it, I should only scrape across the top of it, but we'll see. I'm trying to figure out if I want to lay this gravel back first and then come back and pull the dirt away from the church. That's probably what I'm going to do. I really wish I had my dump truck here, but I don't. I'm may have it here this evening or tomorrow, but we'll get it figured out. That there's a power line right there too. I mean, that thing is, I'll probably wind up in it before the day's over with. I hope not. Alright, so I've just been stripping this back a little bit. What I don't want to do is overcomplicate this job, which I'm probably going to. It's actually pretty simple, but usually the simple stuff I overcomplicate because I get to thinking about it too much. What would probably be fine is just backfilling those holes in all the way up to the church. But I do want to try to get it to fall away from the church as much as I can. I don't really have that much to even really work with, but I think tying it into this drain right here may be all I have to do. I think what's been happening is that water's just getting in that ditch right beside the foundation, and it's got to rise above this before it can ever make its way out. And I think too what's causing that, a lot of it, is that corrugated pipe is sticking above ground. There's no way water from the gutters can drain out of that. So I may just been overcomplicating it to begin with. But I do love this bucket, I can tell y'all that. I just want to take my time and try to be organized as I can. That way I'm not making a mess or having to backtrack. I'm pretty sure I didn't even need the dozer here, but like I said last video, I wanted it here just in case. But we ain't out of the woods yet, because I still don't have a clue how much I'm going to be able to take it down up there. But what I think I'm going to do is jump in. I think I'm just going to, well, let me think about it a minute. Alright, I believe I got that pulled back enough. I'm getting down to bug about flew in my mouth. I'm getting down to the dirt. It's wet over here. I can't believe it's this damp. Even that ditch over there where the excavator is sitting is pretty soft. So y'all can see like just the erosion right there, and I think that's all the problem really is water has gotten in that ditch and it can't get out until it either gets all the way down here or it actually goes inside the church. So what I think the best thing to do is, I got that pulled back, I'm gonna jump in the skid steer. I think that'll be quicker, and just take all this stuff and stockpile it down there, because I want to take that and put it back over the finished grade over here, because I think, you know, that's what they kind of wanted. They want to gravel all the way up to the church here, and that'll be a good sub base or road base, whatever you want to call it, to put down first. And if they want to bring in gravel later, I told them I didn't do gravel, but if they could get it here before I leave, I can spread it for them. Shouldn't be no problem. But yeah, I think I'm just going to try to tie it in this drain right here. But what's going to be tricky is why I really brought the skid steer too, is to get up in here and backfill up in here. I know I won't be able to do it with an excavator, but what I'll probably do is use this stuff to actually backfill, and that way water will actually drain through that a little bit. So yeah, I'm just kind of worried about what's really in here. I think we're going to be okay, but you just never know. So let's jump in the skid steer and move this stuff. I'm trying to save my flags. I know I'll run over them, but I'm not going to pull them out of the ground. But I shouldn't have to go any deeper than where I'm at, really. Maybe another inch or so. But let's jump in the skid steer and move this stuff out. So this is why I wish I had the dump truck, that I could take and scoop this stuff and just set it over in the dump truck and take it back there. But what I may probably do is just take this stuff, cut it down a little bit, set it back over here, and then just make trips back and forth with it with the skid steer. It's going to take a while, but I figure that'll be quicker than getting a dump truck over here, and I can probably get this done today, maybe. We'll see. What I'm probably going to do is start back there at the drain, come this way, and just try my best to put a slope coming uphill this way on it. It's probably not going to be much at all. It's probably still going to be nearly flat, but I'd rather it be flat than I had it be a little high. That way when water will eventually make it down there before it gets in the church. So let's start back down there and start laying the bad dirt in windrows, just like we did the crusher run here. I actually saved a pretty good bit of it, and that's still some pretty good stuff. That stuff is set up pretty nice. Okay, so I got my elevation or my benchmark set to the drain right here. I'm just slowly cutting it out. I've got a half a degree of fall to it. Like I said, I doubt I'm going to be able to carry that all the way, because it's only got about 2 inches from that drain all the way to the front of the church. I'm not good at math, but I don't know what that is. But what I'll do is I'll cut this out. I'll cut this out basically flat, and then I'll build up to the top of the concrete on the church and actually give it a little bit of fall away from the church. That's my goal anyway, so I know I'm good. I'm good to right here. Do me a touch point, back up. Hopefully I don't get into the church. I gotta watch this power line, so it still should be good. There's my touch point. Sorry about the beeping. I just want to show y'all kind of what I'm doing right here. I hope I don't rip out a drainage line. Clean out, which I shouldn't. I'll make sure I don't hit that vent hood thing either. Tell you what, man, this bucket is awesome for this stuff. I would not be able to do this without other bucket, that's for sure. But yeah, that's basically the concept here. I'll put the drone back in the air. Put the drone back in the air and just time lapse it. That way y'all don't have to hear the beeping and stuff. But then I'll show y'all when I get this cut down, see what she looks like. now I'm at the fun part. I got to stay out of that power line somehow. But so far this is going, it's going pretty good. Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be fun. Even if I do get into it, I should be okay because it's coated. Maybe if I don't rip it out of the weather head. Lunchtime. My date just come pick me up.
Do what?
So it's lunchtime. My date just come pick me up. Where are you taking me?
For the birthday boy.
Is it my birthday?
Yes.
He ain't even told me.
That's a lie. I told you first thing. I tried to call you before you were even up.
Yeah, I tried to call and wake me up.
I did try to call and wake you up.
You and Jimmy have a bad habit of that.
You had two little boys wanting to tell you happy birthday, though. Going to George's, get some chicken.
Okay, so I got my basically got my grade cut all the way down there. I tried to slope it up that way so you know the fall would come back this way, but I just don't have enough. I don't have enough fall down here, so what I did was I went back once I got down to that end. Is I started at the concrete and I cut it down. I cut it down towards the drain here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut me so I'm cutting it basically level all the way to the bottom of where the ditch will be. So actually it's going to fall away from the church and then down to the ditch line. Basically it's going to be level with the drain down here. I think that's about the only thing I can really do with it, other than taking down the whole parking lot, and I think that's going to work just fine. And I'll show y'all kind of what I'm doing. I've already got my elevations set. Basically, I'm just raising the church up from the bottom of this ditch right here. I think water just didn't have anywhere to go other than in the church, so this should work just fine. And y'all know how I said that I was probably gonna wind up getting in that power line? Well, I did. I got bad lucky. I didn't rip that thing out of the church. I just forgot about it when I was coming back down this way, pulling that even further back from the church there, that I saw the lines slapping, and luckily that thing doesn't have naked wires on it, because it could have got bad, but nothing happened. So set my benchmark there. I'm just cutting the swell in here is all I'm doing. It's not going to be much of one, but that's really, you don't really need a whole lot. I really love this grading bucket. Jimmy's supposed to be bringing the dump truck down here later on. rip it out. Look, man, there's always something in the way. It's looking good. Hardest part, I think, is going to be fixing that corrugated pipe that's messed all up. Just broke all the pieces he was going to. I think that's 4 inch. I thought it was 6 inch. To get here, and I think there's a spot around the other side of the church they want me to fix too. I'm gonna track over there and see if I can't smooth that out. Well, I got that cut down basically on grade. I think that's gonna work just fine. Yeah, because it's actually falling away from the church to the top of the drain there. So I think that's gonna work just fine. And I cut it all the way to the bottom, basically where the water was running anyway. So it's about 3 inches lower than the top of the concrete. It's kind of hard to tell, but at least all of it is below the church now. So we should be good. But I've got to go get a shovel because my stupid butt forgot to bring one, and I'll have to backfill all that. So I can do that with a skid steer, but I kick some dirt stuff around right in there. But I've got to get a shovel anyway to dig this pipe up, and of course that runs up under the AC unit. So I'm gonna have to hand dig that down, get that exposed, and cut back to some good pipe, because y'all can see that's just dry rotted, busted up, and no count. So I'll dig that down and get me a trench and just tie it in or reconnect it there. And this right here should be good. This had to be done regardless. So if they want to do more, what I'll probably do is if they want to add extra security or whatever, what I can do is just take the grade, follow it on out to the ditch line. But they may be just happy with this, because this should be fine once I get it done, because we've got fall away from the church, so the water would have to come up a good bit to ever get back in the church now. So I've got to run to town, grab a shovel, and then I got to get the dump truck over here because I got to go home anyway. So we shall return.